storytelling, in all its forms, has endured throughout history and across cultures. Audiences are still enthralled by a great and well-told tale. Fairy tales are still a big part of pop culture, and many stories have been passed down, taken shape, and told through various mediums. From oral storytelling to movies and books, narratives have influenced, empowered, and created empathy among the masses. 3,000 Years of Longing, directed by George Miller from a script he co-wrote with Augusta Gore, explores the power of storytelling and how one engages with it in an intimately crafted, thought-provoking, and touching tale. The film is simple, but honest and lovingly handled. Based on The Djinn in the Nightingale's Eye by A. S. Byatt, 3,000 Years of Longing tells the story of Dr. Alethea Binnie, Tilda Swinton, a narratologist, someone who studies stories, visiting Istanbul for a conference about storytelling throughout the centuries. After accidentally opening a decorative bottle she bought at the market, a jinn, Idris Elba, appears before her. The jinn has but one request: Alethea must make 3 wishes. However, she doesn't trust that this isn't all some strange ruse. Having studied stories about jinn, Alethea is wary that this one is a trickster of some sort. And so the jinn begins regaling her with stories of his past, going all the way back to his time with the Queen of Sheba, Amito Lagom, and King Solomon, Nicholas Muawad. 3,000 Years of Longing is grand and fantastical, but it is also beautiful and intimate. Miller and Gore know how to dissect the experiences of the jinn and Alethea, the story taking its time to explore their pasts, their feelings, and, in Alethea's case, the passion and emotion she finds in storytelling. It's about tapping into one's deepest desires, figuring out what Alethea wants despite her saying otherwise, and understanding the caution and wariness with which she and the jinn might approach situations. The film is aware of the power of storytelling, and the narrative's foray into past stories, once told with a slight twist, is an example of how vivid, everlasting, and powerful they can be. Alethea, and the audience, soaks them in, entranced, wondering how they will end and what moral lessons they will teach. It is through the jinn that Alethea understands the depths of longing and how their solitude connects them. And it's through the vivaciousness of Miller's own storytelling that the various narratives come to life in exquisite, and sometimes haunting and violent, detail. The flashbacks Miller employs mesh well with the present-day setting, with all the stories taking place in Istanbul and spanning across the centuries. There's a little bit in here for any history buff to enjoy, but the film is also great at including touches of fantasy and supernatural elements when it comes to such well-known stories. The grand scope of the storytelling is what keeps things engaging, with the pacing never slowing down to the extent that the narrative ever becomes dull. But the epic scale of past stories never takes away from the candidness and heartfelt moments between Alethea and the jinn, who make for an intriguing pair. The film has touches of sadness, emotional depth, great warmth and charm, and thrilling moments that are all driven by the story within a story approach. To that end, it is not unlike 1001 Nights, and there are nods to the Middle Eastern folk tale collection, Alf Layla wa Layla in Arabic, throughout Miller's film. 3,000 Years of Longing is a conversation-heavy movie, driven by the strength of Swinton and Elba's portrayals. Swinton imbues Alethea with the right amount of awe and skepticism that thaws over the course of the film. Her nuanced expressions convey Alethea's love of stories and the depth she finds within them, as well as the empathy and desire she feels for the jinn as the film goes on. Elba, meanwhile, perfectly balances charm and emotional heaviness with a touch of mysterious stoicism. Both actors also have good comedic timing when the time calls for it, and they both play off of each other incredibly well. The supporting actors are also outstanding and, though they don't have as much dialogue as Elba and Swinton, they do a fantastic job conveying the feelings of their characters in a short amount of time. Miller's film is deceptively simple, but there is a tremendous amount of depth and nuance. Viewers will walk away thinking a lot about the film, and a second or third watch is needed to fully absorb the layers within its story. The cinematography by John Seale is gorgeous, and the film's look strikingly captures the fairy tale-like nature of the film, as well as the fantastical elements that are wrapped up in the historical. 3,000 Years of Longing is the kind of film one doesn't instantly forget after watching, and its story should remain with audiences for a long while. 3,000 Years of Longing released in theaters August 26. The film is 108 minutes long and is rated R for some sexual content, graphic nudity, and brief violence.
My heart returns to you. Dinner, you were great. We can go back to mine if you want to. You look so good. I want to do that. I must be tripping. God, catch my